Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to a Spy Party cast. We have the Winter Cup, and we are on the best of 16 bracket stage, round one. We got some exciting games here, one live game, and then one game previously played. And I have one caster for each of those matches. Catnip, hello.
Good evening, everyone.
And Sped Monkey once again.
Good afternoon.
Alright, so we got a live game and they are itching to start. So let's get those picks and bans going real quickly here. Actually, should I show the bracket first? Nah, I'll show it afterwards. How about that? Anyway, so we got let me figure this stuff out here. Alright, so yes. I got picks and bans here. Pwndnoob picked camera control. That's the one where you gotta move your camera around when you're the sniper, apparently. Party in the Box was chosen by Dells, which are all the roughly box-like venues, apparently. Alright. Dells banned Redwoods because he's boring, and Noob banned Barroom.
Because he's everything but boring, I suppose.
Apparently, yes. Reverse boring. I mean, that fits, at least. I don't know about Dells, but Noob, that definitely fits. Alright, anyway.
Yeah.
Should probably let them know that they can play now.
Yeah, so the map sequence for tonight will be high-rise, terrace, so rather a high-rise 3 of 5, terrace 3 of 5 as well, veranda 5 of 8, gallery 4 of 8, library 5 of 8, and modern 4 of 8 to finish.
Sounds good. Alright. Let's get into it here.
I was really hoping to see some Redwoods tonight, but
yeah, I don't know.
This would have been a competitive debut. We have yet to see it in any competitive setting, so I was hoping, but
yeah,
not tonight, alas.
Somebody's gonna get Redwoods through in one of these round of 16 games. All right. Let's see here. All right, so somebody needs to tell them that we're ready.
Okay, I'm gonna whisper Noob
so they can do the things. All right.
Sending
anyway.
secret coded, uncoded messages.
Yep. And
not banana bread this time.
That did it. They're going. And I assume both of you are on autoplay next.
Yep.
All right.
I'm in. We are started.
All right.
And we have Pwndnoob starting off here as queen, getting an immediate flirt and immediately bailing. That was very, very quick in time of chaos. I'm not even sure if it was taken note of, but we already have 51% on our flirt, 15 seconds into the game starting here.
Yeah, that's a great start because you can usually assume Sniper barely takes notice of that early. We're back to flirt because, well, why wouldn't we with that kind of start, right?
Well, we might be back to flirt, but we're also standing here within bug range at a bugging angle, which means that the arm is not really visible from the sniper's side. So if we get some occlusion that will hide the lean from a bug... Oh, 99% on our flirt. That's so unfortunate.
Ouch. I think bug is still risky unless right there while Ambassador was leaving, because it was clear that Dells was very much watching for it. Now, from Noob's point of view, it may be not as clear, but you gotta suspect in these cases that Sniper is on you, or at least he's gonna try to be on the Ambassador.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we got a Purloin, a white Purloin right in the Sniper's face here. I didn't even realize that Purloin was one of the mission setups, or one of the missions here, because normally the normal mission setup is Purloin off and Fingerprint on. But we have Purloin on, we took a white Purloin right in the Sniper's face, and pick a highlight directly for it.
Yeah, it's like as Noob heard us saying, he's far from boring. We did get a lot of flow lights from that, so now we have it down to 4 people.
Yeah,
which is not great.
No, we're in really rough shape, and we have the additional suspicion of being the one who took the list in the first place. We're going in here now to pick up inspects and finish off our flirt, but there's so much suspicion already, and if we go back to finish our inspects at any point after this, you gotta figure we're just gonna eat a bullet.
perhaps then you don't finish inspects and do banana bread instead, because then Sniper would wait for you to finish. But with the banana bread, I think we still may be dead here just because of, you may assume flirt has happened, especially if Dells has paired.
Yep, exactly. And even if he missed the first one, Pwn has gone back and stood next to Small Man twice now. It's been pretty obvious with the benefit, of course, of the green arrow over Pwndnoob's head. But yeah, I mean, you got to think at this point. Here comes the last inspects. This could be it right here. Let's see if Dells takes a shot.
I don't think Dells notices him there, even though we're a highlight. We're
Yeah,
behind the
Dells' attention
mesh.
is drawn elsewhere. Dells hasn't even noticed. I don't know if Dells is even going to take the shot here. Dells hasn't
I
even
don't,
swung around to see the statues.
I don't think the
Here
inspector
comes the mission.
noticed.
I thought so too, but Dells just doesn't even turn over and look, and Pwn gets the victory on the first game.
Well done. I would not have bet for him, on him, rather, considering the first half of the game, but, well, that was a surprising ending.
That was kind of shocking. Yeah, I assumed we were dead basically as soon as the purloin turned and was shown to the camera, but I guess Dells, maybe because you don't pay attention to purloin on high rise so often, Dells was caught a little bit flat-footed.
Potentially, or perhaps you thought someone else could have done it. If you missed the flirt, you needed for the third mission. You were waiting for that. But from what I saw, it didn't seem that the second inspect was even noticed behind the mesh with the lavender color. The queen does sort of mm, uh, integrate visually with that. Perhaps that was the case. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and it seems like Dells was spending an inordinate amount of attention on one of the guests over on the far side of the venue. Klitos, did you have any insights on who that might have been?
No. Unfortunately, I did not catch any of that.
Fair enough, but we're into our next match already, and we have Dells here on Pearls, looking to avenge that loss immediately. We're in the conversation circle with just Wheels here, looking like we're flirting, but we're not, because our selection target is Rocker.
Yeah, not. It probably was accidental because we were AI controlled in the beginning, but you could. Oh, are we gonna try the bug? We're not. Good.
Yeah, that was a pretty obviously buggable position there. And worth noting, especially given how the last game, went. We have the normal mission set up off, fingerprints are on, and as I say that, we pick up the briefcase and pick up our first fingerprint.
Yeah, and we may have the second one available at the green bookcase soon after that. We go to the blue one instead for the moment.
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
interesting
Cowboys.
seeing.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, it's interesting seeing the strategies here. I mean, oftentimes on high rise, spies often look to do a frame, and maybe will wait on getting missions done to see if another AI looks more suspicious. But here, both spies thus far have been getting progress early on. Although Dells hasn't done any flirts yet or anything. Looks like we're gonna get our first one here. But a minute and a half in, and here's our first flirt, only a white test, so we're gonna need 2 more.
Yeah, and Cowboy has the other print, so if we do go back to the green bookcase, it's gonna have to be a difficult one. Instead, Banana Bread comes off, only one hard low light for, or no, sorry, Twin is in the conversation circle after all. So no hard low lights. And
Yep. Oh, but Pwndnoob just takes a shot on Sorry.
has she done something?
Maybe there was a phantom bug or something. I missed that entirely.
Oh, there could have been a ghost bug in the beginning. But I say there was a little bit of distance there. She did have center statues, but for her, banana bread would have been fake. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Well, it looks like right after the BB, there was a path that could have been a bug.
Oh, so that looked like that looked an awful lot like a BB split into bug there.
That would explain it then.
All right, so Pwndnoob gets a spy win through. We have missions done. Dells gets a spy win through with a wrong shot, and we're moving on here onto Terrace, with Pwndnoob picking up the character he just wrongly shot. Orange, sorry.
I would not be too surprised if that's intentional.
No, I
And
wouldn't
we're
either, knowing him.
Yeah, and we're flirting at statues again. I wonder if Dels watches replays and if he picked up on it from High Rise. If so, we could be in trouble right away if he's the kind of person to track them.
I mean, I think Dels is a very solid all-around sniper. I don't think he pays a ton of attention to flirt pairing, but I wouldn't put it past him to notice very obvious pairings like that. And we'll see if it comes back around if Pwndnoob does go back and stands next to Pearls once again. In the
Yeah,
meantime, though, we've had a bunch of visitors to bar early on, so we have a lot of highlights here, just presumably for tracking those bar visits.
yeah, and the party seems to be just walking around a lot, and oh, we could have had a bug if we hadn't been talking, but Dels is looking at that relatively closely as
Banana
well.
bread.
Oh, we try and do the banana bread, and we get bailed on just as it goes off, so that's a fake. We don't get credit for it. But we did pick up a bug as Dels was scanning the party, and I don't think it was noticed. At least there was no immediate reaction from Dels' sniper camera.
Yeah, and that may have been the reason for the fake banana bread. Then we just immediately go to flirt again, because why flirt at conversation circles, right?
No, of course not. I mean, it's pretty obvious that we've been chasing Pearls around a little bit, but again, it doesn't seem like there's been any reaction. Dels hasn't highlit, sorry, and Pearls or anything like that, so I'm not sure if we're on his radar at this point.
I would say that no, not yet. So it seems it's Snoop's game to win, depending on what he does for his third mission. We are on track to finish flirt, but do we banana bread again, or do we do something else?
Well, that is the question, right? I mean, again, we got bailed on our first banana bread, and so if Dels was on top of it, he knows that nobody actually got credit for the first one, given that there is only one double agent on this venue, and the sniper knows who it is.
Banana bread.
We do get a real one this time. Queen Bails right after seems credited with a potential banana split, and thus gets a highlight. We were talking during it, but still no heat, so one would think we just need to timer flirt here, or be patient and finish that.
Yeah, it seems like we've gotten away with this so far. Dels looks like he's focusing most of his attention on Queen and Smallman, his two remaining highlights. There's the talk. Let's see if Dels can pull the trigger here.
It almost seems that he's thinking of it, but it may be just the center position of the map. And yes, we do get away with the win as a spy with missions completed. Well done, noob.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we got that bug off, on a 3 of 5, if you can get your hardtail done, sneak it by, then you're in great shape for the rest of the game. And it looks like that's just what happened here.
Yeah, and I think it was just tough to pair up flirting when you're in the same con only for your last one.
Yep, definitely true. But Dell's coming in here looking to tie it up once again here as Rocker. And we're starting off. We could have maybe taken a Chaos Bug, but didn't take control quick enough. Instead, we're just going to step into statues here, which just like Noob, we have statues off. Very innocent, and scoping out the party to figure out our next move after we get done here.
Yeah, the general does get a highlight, I assume, for potential flirt with Rocker.
Yep, that's probably correct. It does seem like a pretty obvious flirt pairing if you're paying attention to that.
Yeah,
Dell's
especially because
going to
that's something. Especially because that's something you've just done yourself.
Exactly, yeah. Dell's looked like he was trying to get in here next to his seduction target, but Alice stole his spot, so he moves over next to Alice instead and picks up only 26% on that first flirt, which is unfortunate. But on the flip side, we have no suspicion, I would assume, thus far.
It would seem so, yes. Smallman gets a low light. Or something. Not sure.
No, I didn't see what it was either, but Pwndnoob does do somewhat fluid lighting, I believe, so a low
Yes.
light here is not the be-all, end-all.
Yeah,
Banana bread.
and oh, we cough. Do we die for it?
Doesn't look like it, no. We do get some lowlights off, though, and that was a fake as well. But let's see here. We got some lowlights off of that. We pick up a highlight here. So this could be bad.
Now, the thing is, do we panic for having done a red banana bread and keep not doing anything, or do we still try to finish?
Well, we were already looking like we were taking this really slowly. And just like High Rise, Terrace is another one of those venues where frames can be very powerful. Oh, that was a standing bug right there. It
That
looked like it
was
was right on camera.
Yeah, you could definitely see the shoulder movement if you were looking for it, but I'm not sure if Noob missed it or is just waiting for the third mission because he knows Rocker can't really have finish. Um, yeah, good usage of Salmon there as a cover.
Yep, definitely true, but the shoulder lean was still very visible on camera. We're finishing up our inspects here, or excuse me, our flirt spy standing at statues. And now the question is, what do we try to do for our third mission? We're gonna go in here, and it looks like we're gonna try and get banana bread off. Let's see if we get shot for it.
Banana bread.
And
Yep.
we do. Oh.
Yeah, Poland immediately just students the camera over and takes the shot.
Yeah, I suppose the bug was suspected, perhaps not seen. Perhaps you're holding off a shot or showed suspicion for longer for longer cause, longer term, for the full match. If you think your opponent's watching replays, you may not want to show that right away. But it seemed it got enough suspicion to shoot with the banana bread.
Yeah, it felt to me like Pwned was on top of that, and he was just waiting for either confirmation or for Rocker to be done there.
Yeah.
It felt like he probably had a pretty good mission count and didn't want to take, an early shot if he didn't need to.
Yeah, that's some good patience from sniper point of view. It's kind of rough sometimes, especially as I like to say, you have one kind of brain within the game and one outside the game, and within the game is just all kinds of short wired.
It's an interesting way of putting it, yeah.
And we're heading off to the next map of Veranda, Noob being ahead 3-1.
Yep, he's starting off as Cowboy here as the spy, which is a less than usual pick. Generally, Cowboy is less favored in the meta. Does Pwndnoob just pure random, or does he pick his cast?
I don't think he purely randoms it, but it really depends. He's shaking his camera for something, though.
He got
48%
on his flirt. Yeah.
Oh.
Which is unfortunate. Everybody hates that. But looks like we're going for the purloin immediately again here. It comes off. White test. Dells has seen the tray. No reaction yet, though, as far as highlights and lowlights. Yep, he zooms in. Looks like he's probably seen it pretty well now. Yep, there goes the highlights on Duke. Maybe he thinks Duke took it. If so, that's really, really lucky for Pwndnoob.
Yeah, because we gulped it, so the purloin isn't really visible, or rather, we're not seen with the train.
Yep, immediate banana bread stop talk. Pwndnoob's been getting a lot of white tests so far.
Yeah, he didn't practice those enough before the match, I suppose.
Yeah, it must be. But in any case, it hasn't been hurting his performance, given that he is 2 for 2 on spy wins thus far.
Yeah, and we do seem to be in a pretty good position so far in this game as well. Not even a highlight for Purloin. Don't think you were seen with a drink. Banana bread went fine.
Yeah, little twitching conversation circle to get into bug range. Doesn't look like it was noticed again. We're probably just waiting here to try and pick up a good opportunity when Dells' sniper laser indicates that his attention is elsewhere to do that standing bug there. Yep, there it is. And Master leaves just as we do it. It does not take. Doesn't look like it was seen though, so at least we have that going for us.
Yeah, I think I could see the hand moving there at the end, right behind the pillar, but we are at the great advantage of knowing who the spy is.
Yeah, but even with that miss, we're still in pretty good shape here. With 2 minutes left, we have 2 missions completed already. We still need 2 more flirts though, and we still need to find 2 more missions done. So time is starting to tick down a little bit. We're not dead yet, but looks like we're going to do some progress here by picking both inspects and another flirt.
Yeah, which is a good call, I think, for time-wise. It seems like there's enough time, but you can... Oh, and another green for 99 in total. That has to feel mean.
Yeah, that 48% from earlier looming large here. Oh wow, look at this walking bug.
Oh,
That was
that was
beautiful.
a work of wonder indeed.
Yeah, right in the sniper's face, completely invisible. Doesn't look like Dell's had any suspicion whatsoever for that. So Pwndnoob going in here to finish up his inspects. And after that, he just needs to finish up Flirt, and that'll be it.
We get only highlight. Was our first visit missed, or perhaps Dell's just highlights for full visits or something like that?
Yeah, I don't think Dell's does road statue highlights.
I love that sneaky ship. Like, why would you need that statue again? Especially that late in the game, right?
No, absolutely. This is a great way of throwing in here. And if Dell's is looking at this, he's probably thinking, the hell player would do this? But oh, okay, so there's our third inspect done. And we just need to get our Flirt done.
And Boots is about to get shot for having her second potentially inspect or other missions along the way.
Was that a 3-cycle at statues there at the end?
I don't think so, but there might have been. Let's see.
Whatever happens though, the real upset so far is that Pwn has not time added once.
It seemed like a 2-cycle for me. I suppose it may have come across as 3-cycle because of previous inspect.
Could be. In any case though, Dell's starting off here as Kane. Going to be looking for a bug here, of course. But we're stepping into bookshelves here. Let's see if we cheese this. Nope, we're going to Purloin right at bookshelf, then
Oh.
Gulp, pick up a book, presumably. And let's see what we do with that.
And the Purloin is just noticed.
I don't think it was noticed yet, actually. Nope, yep, it definitely was because we picked up some lowlights on the other side of the map.
That was a sneaky Purloin that I would usually expect from Noob.
No, that was definitely a Pwndnoob sort of playbook move right there for sure. Oh, and their seduction target comes over to us at bookshelves too, so we pick up 51% green test on that. Dell's start to this game is amazing. Like this is pretty much a dream start.
Yeah, very much on fire, and well, we'll see how this game envelops later. But we're in a great position here, and I don't think Noob is the one to get tilted or to get confused. But I think this kind of start can throw off any player.
Definitely true. I mean, you have to wonder just what exactly you've missed when you see that the list is gone, especially so early. You have to then be on your guard for a rush or all sorts of other things as well that you might not ordinarily be paying as much attention to.
Yeah, and Noob seems to be focused on the left side of the map, which makes it seem that Dels is even in a better position.
Yep, definitely true. Yeah, we didn't really pick up any suspicion for that Purloin, it doesn't look like. Oh, there's another standing bug.
Bug!
This is like a mirror image of Noob's game in many ways. We pick up the standing bug in that far right conversation. We have 82% on our Flirt. Let's see how we finish here. We have to get Flirt and then one more mission done. I don't know what Dells is thinking, but it might be as simple as just a swap to finish.
I would not be too opposed for it. I think if a swap happens, a civilian shot is likely to happen. Depends on how that swap is seen. We do pick up a highlight for going to the statues in the first place.
Yep, that's definitely true. It could be that Pwndnoob's antenna is twitching a little bit more than we thought here about this.
Perhaps he saw the bug and once again isn't showing it.
It's certainly possible, although camera movement isn't making it obvious by any means, at least, that he's following Kane around, so it's hard to say exactly what he's looking at.
Yes, we get our last Flirt, and we would need only one more statue inspect to finish. Laser-wise, we seem to be focused on the whole map now. But
yep, definitely. Yeah, I don't know if we get shot. I have honestly no idea. We zoom in on Smallman right there as he passes by the ambassador.
The question is, do we get shot for second inspect? I don't think we do. But Noob proved me earlier to be wrong about what Noob assumes has happened in the game. So I wouldn't be too surprised either. And like you mentioned, like in the previous game, we go to that corner statues for our second visit.
Yep, this is the moment of truth. 6, 5, 4,
No,
3.
we're
Doesn't
not
look like a
getting
shot's gonna
shot.
come off here. And Dells manages to pick up another spy win. This match has been very, very spy heavy so far.
Yeah, and very well done by Dels. I think being down for one just sort of gave him a kick in his behind, the positive one where you just think, okay, I need to do something. And he very much did.
Yeah, that was a great spy game. Veranda is the venue where you have to be a little bit more aggressive on your spy side, and Dells was that in every sense of the word, from that early purloin all the way through the rest of the game. So great spy game by Dells there.
Yeah, I think we're seeing great spies overall in this match. Which, like you mentioned, heavy spy wins. And yeah, I can't fault snipers too much either. But we're seeing exceptional decisions made by spies either throughout the game or at least at some point.
Yep, absolutely. And we shouldn't be surprised. These both are very, very good players, very experienced, and actually very innovative players as well. So this match thus far has been a treat to watch, and let's hope the second half of it delivers.
Yeah, I think um we may be in a very short break or moment of waiting. Who do you think would win, or at least who did you think would win? Who did you think to be the favorite before this match started?
Well, so it was interesting. Dell's won his group on the group stages here, going for perfect 4-0. Whereas Pwned was probably the favorite going into the group stages, but he ended up losing to Rio in groups and ended up coming in second, which is why they're meeting here. Despite that, I would have thought that Pwned would have been the favorite coming into this, but I wouldn't have been surprised either way to see Dells pull out a victory.
Fair. And it seems we're just starting our next game.
Yep, we
Gallery.
have we have Pwndnoob starting off here as Cowboy again. Again, I don't know if this is a conscious choice or if he's just randoming and has ended up with Cowboy twice in a row, but
Banana
an
bread.
unusual spy choice to say the least. Unorthodox, you might say.
Yeah, and another unorthodox decision is to have such an early banana bread, hoping to banana split, and it seems Dells is thinking of to low light noob, but instead he highlights him.
Now, Dells is guards that banana split very, very carefully. I can't tell you
Okay.
the number of times I've been highlight for doing that against him. It's something that he very, very often does.
Fair enough.
And yeah, Pwned now picks up another flirt. And it's hard to say how we stand here. We have a blue book in hand. We have most of our flirt done. We have banana bread done. But we're also highlight, and it's hard to say how big or how much suspicion that we have right now.
I think even from noob's perspective, you have to return correctly. Because the laser was a lot on that bookshelf. Dels was definitely watching Noob and thinking about things for a while. So Noob has to have noticed that he was seen as the blue bookcase. So I really don't think direct transfer is an option here, or at least a good one.
No, I would agree with you for sure. We do pick up our third flirt, so that mission is done as well. And if we return here, we still have 2 minutes to work with to get 2 more missions done. Yep, looks like we're just going to go back, do a correct return, and then we'll have to see what we do next. Dells moves his camera over, maybe faking a low light. Very nice camera
Yeah,
work by Dells.
I like the fakes when I'm the one doing it. But
Definitely true, yeah. No, I like the mind games going on between these two players. That could have been a bug path right there, but it was on camera, and it looks like Dells is pretty sure that no bug took place, which is a nice move by Pwned if that was intentional to get some heat off.
yeah, that does seem very intentional. And now we also take a stop at a full convo, which is not seen because we're zoomed in gallery.
Yeah, and that didn't look correct at all, but I don't think it was on camera, so we got away just fine.
Indeed. Dils is watching that back conversation a lot, so it seems we do get away a little bit with the time ad. And another one, and you sort of pro-jinxed it in a way.
Yep, so we went from 0 time ads to 2 in short succession. Pwndnoob now has 2 minutes 20 seconds left to work with, although the sniper clock only shows 104, excuse me. Here comes a purloin, which is just white right in the camera's face,
Yeah, Noob
and
has to
Dell's
be
is gonna
shown
take
there.
this shot.
I'd say good effort, good cheeky effort there, but it did seem very much to be in the sniper's favor.
Yeah,
But
that was strange all the way around. He ignored the action test, which is unusual.
yeah, and with that, Delsa's catching up now, result being only I say 4-3 to Noob's favor.
Yeah, definitely true. And it's worth noting a couple things. First, unlike the group stages, we only play the 7. So if a player gets to 7 before they play the full 12 games, then we end there. And
Yes.
secondly, if we go to overtime, we're doing missions equals points.
Oh, that good old format that I used to play only in wildcards tournament. Um, I would be excited to see missions versus points, even though it would mean more lengthy work for us. But definitely more entertainment outweighs it.
That's definitely true. And especially with 2 players of this caliber, missions equals points might be a horrible, horrible maze of mind games, which I fully embrace.
When I'm not the one to be the victim of those mind games, I love it. Like, if it's someone else's match, bring me as much as you want and as much as you can. I'll take it all.
Definitely. But getting into our next game here, we have Dell starting off as Spy here as Queen again. And oh, we take up a Chaos Bug immediately. It doesn't even take, and it was right on camera. This could be very, very bad.
I wouldn't dare say it should have been seen.
Yeah, we pick up like time. Yep. I like the thought. Delta's really been taking a lot of plays out of Pwndnoob's playbook here. Just this time, the timing didn't work out for him, either on the time ad or the bug, and he eats the bullet for it. So probably not how he drew that one up, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I'm very much seeing a lot of Pwndnoob in Dell's gameplay. For viewers, I played Noob a lot, and I barely have played Dell's if any. So I don't know if it's Dell's usual style or not, but I'm seeing a lot of Pwndnoob in Dell's playstyle.
No, and that's definitely a good thing, to be clear. Pwndnoob
Yes.
is a very creative spy, especially, and creativity on spy side will usually be rewarded.
Yes.
So the fact there are definitely worse players to model your game after than Pwndnoob. Speaking of Pwndnoob, we are here with a more conventional spy and a more conventional Pwndnoob play with a time added right off the bat here.
Does not seem to have been noticed this time, because we have way more important things to try to catch in the very beginning of library, like statues or bugs.
Yep, absolutely correct. And we pick up the green book, walk away with it, off camera entirely. Let's see. Looks like we're probably going to try and do a direct transfer on this, although I'll be curious to see if we try and cook it some or what.
We may be trying to microfilm here at the side viewing statue. Ambassador is there, so yeah, it's a good decision to not do any kind of shenanigans there. Seemed we may have wanted to go to blue, but we have been third at the bookcase, which is not great.
Nope, instead we're staying at the time add window, but we don't add time this time. We're just going back to the bookshelf, and we pick up a highlight for it. Maybe Dell is more onto this than we thought.
Potentially. I do say Papa Danger was quite visible at the green bookcase, so there possibly was some remnant of that happening within the game.
Yep, certainly possible. We do the return right there. No shot comes off, but we do have a highlight. It looks like Dells wasn't sure that book came from, and he's crediting the mission being done, would be my guess.
I would not dare to argue with that at all. We catch a 40% flirt. And we maybe try moving in for a buck.
Yeah, it looks like we might be on the very, very edge of bugging range. It's hard to say, but Dells is also staring us down so hard.
Well,
Really, we're not going to be able to
especially,
get away with anything like this attention.
yeah,
Yeah, with
especially with
Toby here as
Toby
well.
in the room there.
Yeah, little camera shake from Pwndnoob indicating his frustration with how that one played out.
Yeah, I assumed his plan might have been to do a fake banana bread and then again bug during low light taking process. But instead, Ambassador just leaves, and we have to do something else. Do we purloin here? Maybe not.
As tempting as the checker purloin is, Pwndnoob decides against it.
And yeah, Laser came back right away, so possibly for the better. He's shaking his head again, or his camera rather.
Yeah, and despite the time map, the time is ticking down. We're at 2.5 minutes left, and all we have done is transfer and not even half our flirt. So we have to kind of get a move on here if we're Pwndnoob. Despite all the activity that we've done, we don't have a lot of mission progress, which is not ideal. We're being offered here, we just reject again, no purloin.
Yeah, we do seem to be a lot of the laser, so not sure if Noob assumes that he's being watched, but at the very least, you can't really do things while you're that blatantly under the laser. So we're in a bit of a pinch. RST does come back to the same conversations. We get final 67, up to 67% of flirt. We still need to try to bug. That takes, I think, the
We've seen,
same.
we've seen some really beautiful walking bugs from Pwndnoob. He timed that one perfectly, just as the ambassador was leaving, so we could walk next to him and pick up the very innocent-looking walking bug there. Very, very nice play.
Yeah, it did seem for a moment that there was a lot of suspicion for that bug, but we're not shot, so we're at least not yet.
No, but we also again we have no mission progress really.
Banana bread.
And there's the banana bread.
Oh,
Yep,
and
here comes
banana.
the shot. Yeah, Dell's all over it.
Yeah, banana bread with a banana split. Sadly, bullet is not a banana one.
No, as delicious as that might be, we are. I would assume that the microfilm was more obvious than it seemed at the beginning, and Dell's is really just waiting for an excuse to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think at least from what I noticed, the laser was following Noob a lot, with a sense that it was still watching the rest of the party when it could. But it's once again I'm biased because well we know who the spy is. We see the green triangle.
Yep, of course. So Dell starting off again, same thing, taking an early book here as Bling Twin, and immediately walking away with it
Banana
to stand
bread.
next to our seduction target, picking up a banana bread and presumably an early flirt. Yep. So that's a very, very nice set of mission progress right off the bat here.
Yeah, once again Del starts, if not aggressively then at least very actively. It did work out for him in the last game. I would guess it may work out for this one as well. Has that kind of feeling, but it's still very early to tell.
Yeah, definitely true. And again, it's very interesting to see the parallels between what the two players are prioritizing on the spy side, both of them going to bookshelves early to presumably try and do a direct transfer here. I'm assuming that's what Dells has in mind because that was a very, very quick book takeout to try and disguise where it came from.
I agree, yes. Still, the question, we're spending quite a lot of time in this conversation is what do we do next and when do we do it? We don't really want to waste time to the situation like Noob was before on the same map, where we have to do things during the last 2 or so minutes.
No, you definitely don't want to do that, especially on library, where those last-minute statue visits or banana breads or things like that can really get you shot a fair amount of the time. Looks like we're just gonna go in here to an innocent conversation. I don't know what we have in mind here, given
Well,
that we already have our banana bread done.
oh yeah, because I just noticed double agent coming in, but I suppose we're just moving slowly toward the other edge of the bookshelves, the bookcases, but we can time it as well, I suppose.
Well, as Pwndnoob would be happy to tell you, you can always time add. But instead, we're just going to step in here. Looks like pick up another flirt, make some more mission progress, and then hopefully probably dump this book into the blue bookshelves. Because we want to have our hands free to get other missions done.
Yes. We kind of have to. Aside from bug, we can't really do that with one book in our hand. Well, potentially fingerprint, but still.
Yep, either way though, I would not be surprised at all to see Dells bail and go to blue bookshelves really anytime now. Here we go, we're leaving, and oh, looks like maybe we're gonna go back across the venue again. Here we go, into green shelves instead.
Okay, at least that, because I was thinking that at this point we cannot afford time-wise to return it to the correct bookcase.
Nope, that is very much correct. So after we get this done, we'll be almost done with flirts. We'll have our transfer done, and we have contact done. We still need to find 2 hardtails. This looks like a Pwndnoob bug right here, but on the wrong side, and the sniper laser is following us all the way. No bug possible.
That cut through the convo was potentially a little bit suspicious.
Yeah, as was that path, just following the ambassador like that. That looked, especially for someone like Pwndnoob, who just does that sort of thing all the time. And if we try to do a reverse drive-by right on camera, here comes the shot.
Yeah.
All right.
It just, I think we would have had enough suspicion, especially if we would have been doing something else. So the score now is 6-4, which means it's a match point for Noob.
Yep, and we're going into our last venue here, actually. So this has been a very close venue, or very close match, excuse me. And selfishly, of course, I hope that Dells sweeps this venue to tie it up, and we get to see some missions equals points on Taean. But let's see what happens here on Modern. We're playing the 4 of 8 Winter Cup variant again, like we did in the group stages, which plays a little bit differently than the 5 of 8. So much less sniper favored, but still definitely it feels like the sniper has much more control of the whole map when looking at it, I would say.
Yeah, I think it does feel a little significantly better as a spy when I started playing it. And it sort of is also a good reminder of how good the community and especially the competitive side of it is responsive to overall meta changes and style changes and constantly developing of what would work better, especially in a competitive setting.
Yeah, it's nice that we're always constantly iterating on these sorts of things. And I mean, I know Kaylee last time we had cast last weekend was saying that he saw 4 of 8 Modern as basically a less fat version of Gallery, given the same sort of mission setup. But I think it plays pretty well, and I think it gives a lot more freedom for spies to be creative and do things than 5 of 8 Modern does. So with 2 creative spies like this, let's see what happens with these 2 players here. Pwndnoob starting off as Bling Twin again. Just standing here in this conversation circle for a bit, hoping that Seduction Target comes to us, but he doesn't, and I assume we're going to go chase.
Yeah, why not time at the same time since we're at the window pad, right?
Oh, of course. It would be a waste
But
if
not
we were
this.
not. No,
Not this.
which is surprising. It feels like Pwndnoob with time at what is happening here? We get stuck on the wall. Pwndnoob, if you're throwing so we get to missions equals points, then that's awesome, but maybe don't do that.
Yeah, maybe do that in the next game where you're a bit more sure if you can do that. Doesn't seem like that was seen that much.
No, it didn't, and we're picking up the briefcase here right at our feet, but the ambassador is pretty close, and we pick up a highlight for it. I don't know if that was exactly correct given the proximity of the ambassador there. That might be why we picked the highlight for it.
Yeah, and also now you have a better way to distinguish the twins as you usually want to highlight. I haven't seen that before from Dells in this match, but might as well considering this twin is becoming a little bit of a suspicion.
Yep, that's certainly true. Just the highlighting the first twin to do something with mission progress is certainly a fairly common thing that snipers do. I certainly do it that way as well.
Yeah. Seems we are chasing our seduction target again, though he decides to just stand in the middle of nowhere, deciding where to repath, and we go to statues instead.
Yeah, our pathing this game as Pwndnoob has been kind of questionable between getting stuck on the window there, and then that sort of very sharp angular path in the statues there. I don't know if Dells has picked up on that, but it hasn't looked great from my point of view.
Banana bread.
Yeah, we do real banana bread. Get what, 2, 3 low lights?
Yep, you'll notice we don't split this time. Perhaps Pwndnoob has learned his lesson about banana splitting against Dells.
Well, if there's any good time for that, it may as well be now.
Yep, certainly true. Time is ticking down though. Again, we have half missions done or partial mission progress on Inspects, Seduce, and Fingerprints. But we have under a minute and a half left to go, and we have to finish 4 missions here to get done.
Yeah, we definitely need a second flirt. If we get a printable statue, that would be great. It's a lot of RNG plays there. We get a fingerprintable book instead, and we may get the microfilm. Potentially done?
Let's see what Pwndnoob decides to do. Again, time is short, so I don't know if we have time to do action tests microfilm. No, we just return it, and we're going to try and finish up elsewhere instead. Laser's hovering over us, which must be unpleasant if you're Pwndnoob. But nonetheless, we're going straight into mission progress, get another statue, and get our inspects done.
I think he wanted that conversation because both ST and DA were in there, but it was quite full and it would not have been a nice way to get yourself in there, so that's why he went for the second statues.
Yep, but Dells is all over this and just takes the shot as soon as he steps in and insta-talks. And Dells is on the verge of tying this thing up here. 6-5 Pwndnoob going to Pwndnoob spy side here on Modern.
With Dell's spy side.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No worries, I myself had to check.
Say
They've
that
been playing quite similarly well, I think.
that path to that last conversation looked pretty awkward, I'm gonna say. I'm not sure if that's the sole reason Dell shot. I mean, I feel like an AI would have turned the other way at the very least.
I mean, really, the whole end of that game was pretty spy-like on Pwndnoob's part. Everything from getting just missions done to pathing. Maybe not his best effort on that one.
Yeah, and the insta-talk there at the end had to do quite a good amount of suspicion as well. So.
Yeah,
but
sure
now Dels is on the spy side as well, just going to the window, finishing drink, and thinking of what to start doing, I suppose.
Pwndnoob time adds there, 100% of the time. But instead we're just idle here.
I think we're just trying to pen out the party and see what others do, and thus what would be better for us to do. And we start with flirt or banana bread.
Banana bread, yeah.
Banana bread.
Banana bread first, and then presumably we'll pick up a flirt right immediately afterward, just double talking.
Or maybe even wait, it seems. I don't know how I feel about banana bread. It did seem to work out in this case because the double agent left, but because it's the beginning of the game, I would be more worried that my ST may leave.
Yep, that's certainly true as well. But, you know, if they're both there, if there's a risk that you're going to double talk anyway, you may as well do them in whichever order you feel best.
Fair. We do get the 34% flirt before our ST does leave, so that's nice. We're still idling quite a bit, though.
Yeah, that's true. And given especially the frenetic pace that we've seen from both of these spies, there's been a lot of idling, both on Dells' part and on Pwndnoob's part here on Modern. And even with the 4 of 8 setup here, there's still not a lot of time for idling. This is definitely still a venue where you need to be moving around and getting mission progress done. So I don't know what Dells' plan here is. Looks like he's going to scope out the seduction target and try and get another flirt in here before he commits to doing something a little more obvious.
It may be the case where, it's the last game, right? This to tie, I need to win this, and that kind of sort of a little bit of pressure of what do I do to win? And to be fair, Pwndnoob has done 1 civilian shot earlier in this match. It's not much, but it shows that we can still shoot for others, so we may want to try and get that done as well.
That's true, but we're back here once again into an innocent conversation. Double Agent joins us, but we already have that done, so that's fine. It looked like maybe we were planning to delegate to Sari here, but she bails after the Double Agent screws us over on that. So I don't know what the plan is now. Del's gonna have to figure something else out. Yeah, we leave and chase down somebody else. Maybe we're going back to try and get Sorry to Purloin again, or something else. We're forced to the inside of that conversation circle. Yeah, next to Sorry again. Sorry is our frame target.
We do briefcase instead with a difficult fingerprint.
Yep, and we hit it. So let's see. Once this Purloin goes off, let's see what Pwndnoob's reaction is, because that's going to be very, very telling.
I'm not seeing the timer. Has that finished? Okay, so it's just visible. And she does get shot. Well done on Dells.
Ooh, and that means we get some missions equals points.
It's happening. I'm so excited.
And we get to see it in a live game. That's all the hype you can get.
All right, I don't know.
So Kledos, yeah. So
do we need an explanation of this?
I think that would be helpful. Yeah. So
right.
if you can just give us a rundown on how exactly this is going to work.
All right. So I'm not sure who's going to be spy or sniper first, but it's going to be locked to TN. It'll be set to known 8. Each mission the spy does will earn them a point. Up to 8, obviously. If the sniper misshoots or shoots a civilian, the spy will automatically get 8 points. Yes. And then they will switch sides. Both players will try get a turn as spy. The one that ends with the most points will win. If it's a draw, they will go again.
Yeah, so in terms of roles, they start the same as the match started. So in this case, Dells is the first sniper, Noob is the first spy to potentially get points, and we are playing equal rounds, basically.
Yep.
I do think being the first sniper is a better advantage here, because then when you're the spy, you know exactly what you need to be.
That's true, but at the same time, if the spy does so well, it can be pretty rough when you're sniper. Like if you miss-shoot.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
I don't know. It seems I don't know if there's really an advantage in this one.
I suppose it depends to individual preference.
It's hard. It's hard all around.
Yes, agreed. SpyParty is difficult.
All right.
It's definitely a psychological thing, especially on Taeyan, where some missions are so free. It feels like inspects are going to be the last thing that inspects and swaps are going to be the last things that the spy is going to try and do, just because they're so obvious.
Well, inspect may not be that obvious, but yeah, like last second bugs, as desperate as they are, hey, even if you're dead, you get a point. Worth it. So I'm very looking forward to seeing all kinds of interesting plays here, especially from these two players, seeing how the previous match was going, and I think we're getting a lot of hype and good games.
No, this side has been incredible so far. From everything from Dales' 2 comebacks, falling behind 4-2, and then 6-4, and coming back both times to even it up. We've seen great play from both players.
Or one at some point.
Yeah, and look at this mission screen. Custom, known 8.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I think both players are probably trying to just get a refresher on the rules here heading into this, since this is not something that's usually seen in competitive play, at least not lately.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, this was the tiebreaker for the old ladder, which was sort of the pre-competitive league, pre-SEL.
All right, here we go. Pwndnoob as Irish. Missions versus points. Let's see what Pwndnoob has up his sleeve. Nothing so far. We're stepping into window here, and we're doing time ad.
Time ad, of course. And another
Pwndnoob.
one, because of course.
Pwndnoob. You don't get points for time ads, buddy.
You do get more time to do missions, though.
Yep, that's true. And especially on Taeyan, where the back is so obscured and the sniper doesn't really have a good view of it, probably a pretty good place to do it. We pick up our first flirt here, 34%, and blow down our drink. With all this extra time, idling here is very, very viable.
Yeah, it's kind of different to think of what Spy should do in this case, because because it's completely different setup. We do fake.
And we pick up a highlight for maybe for just talking while the banana bread goes off. But nonetheless, we are highlight. But even with that said, it's also hard to say what the right play is for a sniper to do. In theory, you probably, especially if you're on the first game, you don't know what the number is you need to beat. It's easy to say, you shouldn't take a shot until you see a hardtail for sure. Just because
Yeah.
if you take a wrong shot, then the spy gets credited for all 8 missions being done. Another time ad from Pwndnoob here.
I mean, noob, it's missions equals points, not time ads equals points. But, well, I mean, it helps. I've just said it helps, so now I'm contradicting myself, but it's, after you get your third time ad, you think weird things.
Time ads are the type of thing that they help until they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks clear that Noob's goal right here is to get a miss shot to happen. I don't think he's trying to do any missions.
It certainly feels like it, or at least if he is. Oh, here we go again. Back to the window path.
Are we getting the
no time
other
out.
one? Not this time, it seems?
Maybe.
But
We're just kind of standing here, though. Yep, there we go. We walk away. No time at this time. Stepping in next to our seduction target. Hopefully we'll pick another flirt this time.
Yeah, we would like to do at least one.
Yeah, that would
Or
be nice.
something.
But even if you only have one mission done, I mean, if that means that Dells goes into the other half needing just one mission, you just walk in banana bread and already be tied and guarantee the tie.
Yeah.
Here we go. Green purloin. This is a bit more like it.
We
we
are
take
in the
a
back
drink.
conversation, but it may get seen.
We take a drink on camera. List isn't gone. And now the ambassador is being offered. Let's see if the ambassador walks away. Let's see who ends up taking this list. And let's see if Dells credits us taking a drink and the list not being gone as us not being able to have green purloined.
Well, we will do a real banana bread probably here. Oh, if only we didn't have a drink in that hand.
Yeah, but the purloin comes off. Doesn't look like it's been seen yet.
Now it has, I
Yep.
think.
Yes, it has. And oh no! Shot comes off on Queen. Wrong shot. Pwndnoob gets 8 points.
Oh, and Dels is in a really rough spot now. Queen has to have been credited with the purloin. She was in a pretty much good spot for it when that happened.
Yeah, and I mean, this being Tan, I'm sure she was credited with bugs and such as well. As well as probably that first banana bread. Oh, this is a disaster for Dells.
Yeah, like Opie says in chat, Dels needs to get a sip shot as well, which means Noob may as well just decide to do nothing. Just, leave and get some water or something, because it's extremely unlikely that the spy would do all 8 missions.
Yeah, Dells at this point, or excuse me, Pwn at this point can basically just play like known for against beginners, just camp swap, and wait.
Yeah.
This is rough for Dells, but let's see what his game plan is here. He picks Small Man because, of course, when, you just sell your soul for a win, Small Man is the way to go on that one. AI control. Maybe Dells' plan here is just to stay on AI control and hope someone else gets shot.
Just be the AI, don't be the spy. They work out.
Yeah, but again, I mean, like, Pwndnoob knows that he has to get missions done. Pwndnoob knows that he has to swap. He has to bug. He has to purloin. Pwndnoob can just camp those. And if we're not going to get them done, then that's all, like, we have to do all of these things, and we have to get a move on and do them all basically now.
Yeah. We do take control when we're at the center statue. We get only 2 inspects. Just avoiding the 3 cycle, which is fair.
Yep. Banana bread early.
Banana
Because,
bread.
again, at this point, you just have to rush all the missions and hope that someone else gets shot. It feels like at this point we're going to have to do a green purloin and hope that Pwn credits somebody else for it.
Or we're gonna try to do all 8 missions, which as unlikely as it may be. maybe a thing?
I mean, we can certainly try. It's just, again, Pwndnoob is in such a dominating spot right here.
Yeah.
And the shoji layout is not helping either, with the entire left side exposed.
Yeah, both bookcases are very visible. A lot of conversations visible as well, so bugs are gonna be complicated. We do
Yep,
get a fingerprint, which is
I mean, it's something, and we pick up a neutral light for it, but I don't. If your Dell's here, I don't know what to tell you, man. We should probably have to time out here because why not?
just an innocent watch check. We do get a highlight for just checking the watch. Potentially looking out for a timeout later.
My guess is
Or
that's just a
finally.
small man is at the back of the venue highlight just to keep track of him better. But
That would make sense.
we're down to a minute here. One mission done. I don't know what Dell's plan is. Dell's might just be praying that
And the other
Pwndnoob
red.
takes an erratic. Oh, laser off on Smallman there as well, or just circling his head. Pwndnoob is all over this. It feels like.
He's definitely not taking a shot because, well, he doesn't have to. General did a little twitch around the convo. Not sure how suspicious that was.
Smallman's bug there was visible on camera as well, his little hand coming off. And Pwndnoob's still not shooting because he doesn't have to. He had, like,
Exactly.
time is ticking down, and Pwndnoob knows that Dells, even if he knows that Smallman is the spy, he doesn't have to take a shot, and he knows that.
We're getting some more lowlights due to the time ad. Seems.
Yep, I think you're probably correct.
Banana
Another
bread.
banana bread. Fake one this time, just hoping to get somebody shot and to cover up the purloin. But Pwndnoob can see the statue of Toby bending down there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not. I don't think we're winning this, unfortunately. As exciting as that would be, it may even signal the time end at the end. May even signal to Noob that yeah, Spy isn't done, so he can be done that quickly. Oh, the list is gone though.
Yep. Small man just walks up to the bookshelf and walks away immediately. Etiquette is out the window at this point. Just a bug walking right through, and Pwndnoob red time ad.
And
This
another.
is just, yeah. This is just tragic. Again, it feels like Pwndnoob is all over this. I feel like Pwndnoob knows it's small man, but just has no need to take a shot here. Oh, Dells might be dancing here, trying to induce a missed shot.
this just is he reading on purpose? I think
Yes.
you may be right. Then he's getting erratas on purpose. Then he's dancing just to induce that potential. Well, we're back to the start of the game. Just 2 minutes 25 on the clock.
Yeah, it feels like we're just getting a small man dance show right now.
This is hilarious, and I think he's not shooting on purpose. Like, give me 10 minutes. You're not gonna be done, or you are gonna get into a position where I can shoot you in case you are.
I think we might be seeing the downside of missions equals points right now.
There
Here we go
we
with
go.
Statues and Pwndnoob takes the shot.
Yeah, so
What do you
only 3
call a
points.
downside? All right. Anyway, I don't know how to represent this win, so I'm just gonna say Pwndnoob wins.
Yeah, so Noob got 8 points. Dells got 3.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm guessing Dells hasn't played much missions equals points.
No, I'm assuming not. Well, that was a pretty crazy first set. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I did not. I mean, I was definitely hoping for missions equals points, but
We definitely got that.
Yeah.
That was like.
it was. I mean, it was looking like Noob was, dominating early on, but nice little comeback.
Yeah, definitely. I loved how Dells kept evening it up, kept chasing back to either a tie or a close game, and he definitely had some great plays. And the very fact that we had to go to missions equals points shows how great both of these players are. But sadly, that's it for this Winter Cup for Dells, as this is elimination stage already. And Noob gets to play the winner of Dowsey versus Beanie.
Yep, that's going to be quite a match. Are we allowed to do spoilers here? Because Dowsey vs. Beanie has been played.
I think, well, there may be a cast tomorrow. I don't know. It could be one of those matches. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, let's not do that yet, I suppose.
Okay.
But
enough.
that has been played. If you're personally curious, check the spoilers on Discord. They are there with the reports. But yes.
I mean, I can say that if Beanie manages to beat Dowsey, then Beanie vs. Pwndnoob would be incredibly hype. Beanie. And if Dowsey won, then Pwndnoob vs. Dowsey, and that'll just be a great match regardless. So either way, something to look forward to next week.
Yep. Or at least tomorrow, possibly as well. For many, if we get a cast, I'm not sure what it's looking like. All right. Anyway, let's jump into the next set here. We've got Kotte against Hunu. Hopefully that's how you say those names. Let's look at the picks and bans here. All right, so I believe. Let's see if I got this right. Yep. So Kotte picked Party in a Box, and Hunu went with Camera Control. These look familiar, very familiar.
The same.
Same.
Yeah.
They're the same, but just reversed. Anyway, let's look at the. Oh, come on. Hunu bans, unfortunately, Redwoods.
These players are no fun today.
Whoops. Whoops. No, this is Hunu.
We got missions equals points. Come on, that's.
Yeah, but anyway, and also, Kotte bans Gallery. Interesting. They both banned venues in their own pool of choice.
Okay, well, that's definitely allowed, and all of us get to finally see Ballroom, and especially Opie.
Yep. All right. Anyway, we are going to start off. Looks like we are at High Rise first. And I see.
Yes, with Hunu as the spy, right?
Yep, I do see this as Red Dress.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Anyway.
All right, so now that we're no longer live, so I guess we'll count things in when you're ready, Kletos.
Yep. Go for it. Either of you can take over.
All right. We're going to start here. Again, Hunu on Red Dress here on High Rise in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Okay. I'm excited to see Ball. Haven't seen this in a while.
Yeah, Hunu starting off here with Close Flirt at the painting pad, 51%. And again, we've already seen High Rise, so we kind of know how this menu is played. And it's going to be interesting to see if these spies' approaches are different than the prior set, which was aggressive and kind of hectic. We'll see if these two tend to slow things down a little bit more and look for frames.
Yeah, our first pearl was green, so that's even better. And on the small map where flirts can be tracked more easily than usually, in the standard setup is there. So microfilm, swap, and purloin are the missions that are off.
Yep, the standard setup, as you said. Looks like we're just gonna walk over here and finish our flirts momentarily.
Maybe.
So while we have some, while we have some downtime here, you had asked last time what the favorite was. So who do you think is the favorite to win this set here?
Possibly Kotte. I'm not very familiar with either of these players, but from what just I briefly heard or from previous SCL, I've heard good things about Kotte. I haven't heard things overall about Hunu, but I've heard good things about Kotte, so I suppose I would hold him the favor there.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, coming out of group stages, Kotte finished first in the group with me. He ended up going first based on beating me and winning the tiebreaker on that. Whereas Hunu came in second in his group, losing only to Lazy Bear, which, all things considered, if you're gonna lose to somebody, that's not a bad person to lose against.
Banana bread.
Very much agreed.
Yeah, so see, we pick up a fake banana bread, but we have a suspected double agent in our conversation circle, which is not great.
Yeah, and we had another green flirt, but we were close enough so that we're now at 95% only.
Yeah, this is not ideal, but we don't have a highlight either, so it's hard to say exactly how suspicious Kotte is of us at this point. There we go, we finish up our flirt, 100% on that, one mission done. But we're down to a minute left to play.
Well, considering we need only 2 more, that's not that bad, but we should have, or at least start developing a plan of how we're gonna finish if we plan to finish with missions.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Again, we did the fake banana bread, which means that maybe we have somebody in mind that we're trying to frame here. But who that is, it's hard to say because I don't really see anybody obvious. Look at this pileup though at the painting pad. Those are all 3
Yeah.
highlights and all 3 pretty obvious looking flirts. I don't know if Kotte wants to shoot for that, but it looked bad.
I don't think that he wanted to shoot for that, but it's definitely something that as a spy you may want to keep an eye on for future. But I think we're set on hoping for a sip shot.
Banana bread.
Well,
We're
here
doing a
comes
real one.
green banana bread. We knock out our seduction
Has to
target
be a
who's at
bug.
statues there. Yeah, at this point if we want to... There's the bug! Kotte doesn't look like he's noticed. Here comes the clock ticking down.
Yeah, that was a really good bug.
Yeah, and we got away with that cleanly, just as the clock runs out. No overtime. Wow, that was quite
Very
a play.
well done. Yeah, very well done from snipers. From Claudia's point of view, the ambassador covered that himself a lot, and like upper body movements were not seen from Oprah.
Yeah, the arm was a little bit visible on camera looking at the replay here, but it looked like Kai's attention was focused elsewhere, and Hunu got away with that cleanly.
Yeah, so Hunu gets the first point of the match. Well done. So
Absolutely.
this is the kind of map where you're low on time, but you only need a couple missions, and you have 2 quick ones, so you can still finish.
Yeah, and but the ambassador bailed us out there because if the AMA doesn't come by at that time, I don't know what we do to finish. Either we have to do
Yeah.
like a crash bug or something else. But anyway, moving on to our next game here, we have Kotte on Orange Dress, and we're going to be starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Also, we start next to our seduction target with 33%, which is still fine.
Yep, that's a nice safe start. Nothing wrong with starting with flirt, really any time. It's never a bad thing. And what's this? We're picking up a low light? Oh no, never mind. Back to
Just
neutral.
accidental one. I think he meant to. Yeah. I usually agree with flirts early, but not on these kind of maps where it's a small map. You need only 3 missions, so it's both where you can track flirts better and one where you kind of really have to track them better as well.
Yep, that's certainly true. Although it didn't look like we were standing that close to Small Man there, so it wasn't super painfully obvious that we were flirting with him at least. So that's something.
Fair.
But for right now, it looks like we're just gonna idle and scope things out again. I'm not sure if we're gonna try and squeeze our way in here for a second flirt or what the plan is. Yep, looks like we're gonna do a banana bread first actually, with the double agent in this conversation circle, letting off. Let's see, just one low light.
Just one low light, but that was a highlight. I'm not sure if that is costs more than we think. We'll see later in the game. We could do a bug while leaving, but that probably would be too visible.
Yeah, the bug doesn't look like a great situation here, especially given the angle of the ambassador at the moment. And the seduction target is across the circle as well, so even with a second green flirt there, we're only at 64%.
Yeah, we need to agree to finish now, unfortunately.
Yep, setting in here, just sipping our drink, and again, scoping things out. if we finish our flirt, that's all well and good. But the question, as always, is: are we going to try and finish, or what's the plan here?
I think we can hope for, if we get a green, then we either quickly bug. We do have time for full statues, but it would be a bit suspicious. But most likely we're gonna get a white, so you do one inspect, then come back, flirt, and do the last inspect. But then it would probably be too late in the games, to not get shot for second visit. It's a lot of ifs.
Yeah, 98% on their flirt. That's rough. And Kotte still hasn't made a move. Gulping the drink here to set up some sort of play, whether it be fingerprints at the blue bookshelf or statues. I'm not sure what he has in mind, but he's going to do something. Or he can go for a bug here with the ambassador right on the edge of the circle like this. Have to, in fact, as the time continues to tick down.
Yeah, we still need to finish. Instead, we want to finish that first.
Yeah, but I don't know what we do after this. Purloin, as you said, is off, so we can't do a quest Purloin.
Yeah, we don't really have time to go to bug. Oh,
There's a bug right
yeah.
on camera.
We kind of had it though.
No, we did. But unlike hunu last game that got bailed out by the ambassador, we don't time it quite right, and the arm comes out right on camera.
And it's also Toby. Toby could have covered us for that, and he went farther into a position where that it made even more visible.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, there was that.
Yep. So hunu after high rise picks up 2-0 quick start here, heading into terrace. Hunu playing as pearls. Gonna be playing it in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Let's see, early rush at the bar here, including our seduction target, but we're not going over to join them. And unfortunately, given the number of people out of conversation circle, even though the double agent is here, this is not a situation where we want to take that banana bread. So we're just going to sit here and drink and wait for the party to give us something to work with.
Yeah, hopefully RST comes next to us.
I mean, that would be ideal, yes. In the meantime, worth noting that statues are off, as is the norm.
Yeah. Our seduction target is the one who takes the longest, but now the only spot left is almost there. Well, almost being keyword.
Yep. We pick up a green test, only 44% though, because there is that gap with the double agent standing between us, unfortunately. So we're going to need to 3 flirt this in any case. But the double agent bails, so that option is gone. Now might not be a bad time to fake that with only one AI out of conversation.
Yeah, and all the 3 bar goers are in conversations. We may even want to fake the purloin.
Yep. Now everybody's in conversation. Now you kind of have to fake. Yep. Here it comes. There's a green banana bread. That's a fake. And Alice gets low-lit for briefcasing, although an industrious spy could have faked that there with a green banana bread.
Well, they were in animation, so I don't think.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I stand corrected.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, that is a good low light.
Yeah, the thing is, it feels like we don't know what we're gonna do as hunu.
No, I would agree with you. It doesn't really seem like they have a plan here. Hunu is kind of just waiting and idling, and the party hasn't been giving them much to work with here. So we're going to go over to this other conversation circle and pick up a second flirt, kind of jamming ourselves into this conversation.
Yeah, and Salman left a great spot just before. We do get the second flirt 76%, so now we don't have to be properly close to them for the third one. But once again, what we're doing next seems going for a fingerprint or a drink, rather.
Looks like a drink. I'm not sure if that briefcase we're supposed to pick that up there because the ambassador was across the map from us. So that might have been when we were supposed to pick it up, but Kali doesn't look like he's going to at least take a shot for that potentially wrong briefcase.
I also think the highlight was only for the bar visit. because Seek and Orange Dress are also highlighted, and I do Seek being at the bar. We do finish our flirt finally. We have one print from the drink.
Yep, and we fired off a delegate here as well. But time is running down here. So even if this delegate goes off, we have to contact double agent as well, but we're in the wrong conversation circle. The purloin goes off, but how do we finish it? We have to move right now and either get a bug off or a banana bread.
Something has to we can't expect for a...
No, and the time
But
ticks down with
technically-
Banana
nothing.
bread.
Oh, and we even coughed. I thought we may do a desperation bug there at the end.
Looks like that was going to be a bug, but they just action priorities. You can see they did the classic shake after the
right.
BB.
Yeah, makes sense. That's unfortunate. But yeah, that kind of just felt like a game where we didn't really have a good game plan, and when the party didn't really give us anything to work with, we kind of just timed out, and that was it.
Yeah, it's one of those sort of stale games where just Spy doesn't seem to have a plan in the beginning and then just gets lost because RNG isn't cooperating that much.
That's right. But now it's Kotte's turn to see what he can do on Terrace as Rocker in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Worth noting, by the way, that in scouting for my match with Kotte, Terrace was, I think, his match in SCL where he had both the most games played and one of his highest win rates. That's something absurd, like 65 to 70% on both sides.
That's
which is why
a
I
lot.
banned against him.
Yeah, that's a lot for
that was
Terrace.
a bug.
That was a
that
bug,
was a crazy
and
good bug right there.
yeah, I don't think that was seen. That was some good opportunity taken early in the game.
Yep, and now it just feels like a matter of just playing out the rest of the game. It feels like Kotte, unless something goes horribly wrong, should have this game handily.
Yeah, we go next to our estate, so flirt should be in order.
And we even get a green test. Very nice.
Feels like a good time for a banana bread. Only one hard low life, but that potential low light is next to ambassador and a half metric, so we may want to wait.
Yeah, but also given that we feel like we probably got away with that bug, it kind of makes sense just to do one banana bread. I mean, the more information we give the sniper at this point, the more chance that we have to get shot, and we kind of just want to get missions done, right?
That's fair.
The ambassador's in a very buggable position here, but little does hunu on sniper side know that we already got that done. So yeah, that's another flirt done, 78%. Just need one more, and then we'll need contact, and then we're done.
Yeah, I think that I agree with you in this case. Well, now you should just reel banana bread instead of doing more things. Just do what's necessary.
Yeah, this really seems the type of thing where less is more. You don't want to do anything crazy.
Yeah.
You just want to take the the conventional plays here and play it out as normally and as not crazy as possible.
Your daily spy party, spy terrace.
Yeah, exactly. Just with the bug already in pocket.
You did your work for the day. Now you can just do the minimum.
Yeah, hang out, chat, have a drink. Not
I
bad.
hope our Stina comes next to us, but well, we'll go to windows. I think that may be a little bit too far.
It does look like it. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to finish here. We're down under a minute here, so if Kotte doesn't, this could be what goes horribly wrong. Our seduction target picks up the briefcase, so it's going to be out of conversation here. We do our banana bread, or I assume we're going to. Yep, there it goes. The banana bread goes off. And now we have to see what our seduction target does. Our seduction target comes to us. Great. Yep, here he goes.
He's kind of across the convo, though.
Oh, no!
Oh, no! I was about to say we may need to green here. And Kotte sees that as well. Oh, no. I would hate for him to lose this for that 1%.
That would be beyond awful. And we were even highlight, too, for everything that's gone on. So we walk back in the conversation, and the seduction target bails on us. Oh no! This has turned into a
We
nightmare.
go to the bar. We go to the bar. It's still okay. We're probably
We have
suspicious
to.
as hell
Yep.
now, but
We're getting overtime, though.
Still okay. We're gonna have overtime.
Here it comes.
I don't
Decision,
think we
and
get
here comes the shot.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, dang it!
Wow.
That feels...
We caster cursed that one really hard. Um,
that
horrible things happened in the last minute of that game, and I'm so sorry, Kotte. That was painful.
It's like Kotte did so many things right, and then RNG decided, nope, you're having it too easy. We need to make it harder for you.
Honestly, if he just stands a little bit closer at the window pad there, he wins.
Yeah, that's my heart hurts.
Yeah.
My player heart hurts.
Okay. So that's kind of tilting if you're Kotte.
Yeah.
Being down 3-1, and partially because of a game that you really should have by all rights won. That's got to be tilting. So heading into Veranda, which is a drastic change as far as venue style. Let's see if he can bring it back here on Sniper side. But Hunu is Irish on Spy. We're going to be starting it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We are starting just going to the other side of the map, thinking of either catching RST or doing some microphone shenanigans. Doesn't seem like we're doing either. Instead of just finishing the drink and go tile some more at the window pad.
Yeah, you can see the difference in the playstyles, again, from the last match. I hate to keep harping on it, but it's an interesting comparison point. Whereas in the last match, both players seem to have very, very good game plans on Spy side. They would study mission progress and have an idea of what they wanted to accomplish from the very beginning. Here, we're just kind of aimlessly wandering around. This is our first mission progress here after a full minute, and it's just a flirt.
Yeah, that's well noticed. Perhaps it's just different style of players as well. Where you're more a little bit more mundane, then you're also a bit slower on the Spy. But when you're just overall more whimsical and random, you're doing things.
I mean, I'm all for some good whimsy and random. That is true. But with that said as well, Veranda and other larger venues like this, like Library, especially the 5 of 8s, they're the type of venues where you have to be making steady mission progress, or you're either going to time out, or you're going to be rushing at the end and being far more obvious.
Yeah, idling it on these big maps is it definitely gets more punished. For that gameplay. Sadly, our ambassador right next to us, and Toby's right here as well, so we can't really do stuff. We do get a real banana bread, which is, I think, gives only 2 hard lowlights, potentially even 1.
Yeah, for Veranda, that's pretty good. But again, I'm just concerned at the time ticking down now at this point.
Yeah, we are in a bit of a trouble. We have to return that book to the red bookcase. I assume we're elsewhere incorrectly. So that will be second mission, and we finish flirt. We either have to purloin or bug. I feel like.
Yeah, I assume we're gonna have to return this because I can't see what our options are otherwise as far as getting missions done here. Like, it's just gonna take so much time to return it to the correct bookshelf and then try and find 3 more missions. Like, it feels like we have to A, return it now, and then B, start hitting statues or something here. Another fake banana bread. Or
Then
we just try and get someone else shot.
There's the camera shake. There might have been only actions as priorities.
Yeah, that's certainly possible as well there. In fact, that would probably make much more sense.
Yeah, because RST came to the same convo. And we have 96%. That's probably why the camera shake happened as well.
Yep. Down to a minute here. Contact is our only mission done. We're just reading the book here at Windows. We're timing out here unless we get some time ads done. So the question is Kotte suspicious of anybody else enough to take a shot here if they go to a late statues or something like that?
I don't think I don't think partygoers have done something that much.
No, it really doesn't feel like it, does it? Looks like we're gonna try and return this book here to blue bookshelves, which is something, but you know, it's not great. Oh, and Kotte all over it. Kotte just takes the shot.
Which, yeah, apparently that's not just something that's a lot. That gets us shot. Yeah, I think it was quite. So Redhead did a little bit of a potential buck path earlier in the game, so that's why Connie could have remembered her being on that side of the map. And if you just realize that that book has not been returned, it came from the left side of the map, so it has to be the microfilm.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if we get shot if we return it to red there, like we had been talking about doing earlier on. It's hard to say.
Yeah, that's. I think I personally would have loved to return it to red instead. But yeah, especially because there would be like now we wasted more time to go on the other side when we didn't have it.
Definitely true. The time was definitely not working in our favor that game. But in any case, let's see what Kotte can do here on his spy side as Salmon. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yes, right now the score is 2-3, hunu winning.
Yep. Oh,
Um,
we're just doing a action test microfilm here, completely off camera. We've gotten away with it cleanly.
so yeah, we're on the very much far corner. Both Toby and Ambassador are on the other side of the map. Just nothing to look for here overall. May as well.
Yeah, so that's a good mission progress right off the bat here. Looks like we'll try and wedge ourselves in here for a seduce as well. So we're seeing much more immediate progress here from Kotte than we did from Hunu.
Yeah, I also remember the previous match overall. Like the spies start doing things from beginning of the game.
Yeah, so there both the spies just took the books instead of doing action tests. So, you
Yeah,
know, we're gonna step in here.
potato,
Looks like,
potato.
yeah, minor details. Oh, the double agent
Yeah,
bails on us. Looks like we were going for a banana bread there, but that's not going to be happening. So the question is, what do we do instead? We could go back and pick up another flirt. We could go to the books and try and get another microfilm. We could even purloin.
okay, seems we're just getting another flirt, which is fine. Doesn't seem like rush flirting or chase flirting because it's beginning of the game.
Nope, 65% though. So,
Ouch, we're not
yep,
close enough.
no. So we're in position to have another 99%, which seen a lot of today. Very unfortunate. And you were talking about things that make your spy heart hurt. That's one of them.
Indeed.
Banana bread.
We do get a real banana bread, so we keep getting mission progress at least. In contrast to previous Miranda game, where the spy wasn't doing that much. So now we're just getting constant progress here or there, even though it's not 65 and not 66 and things like that.
Yeah, I would say that I don't think Kotte times out very often. That's not really his game style. I think he's definitely prefers to be proactive on spy side, and he's showing it thus far in this Miranda game for sure.
Yeah, so we get it at 94%. I think we didn't go right next to the seduction target on purpose. You just, if you're not banking on getting a green, then you may as well stand a little bit farther apart to not get properly paired up.
Yeah, that's a case where unless you green it, you're not getting it done
Yeah.
anyway, no matter where in the conversation circle you stand. So that's a perfectly good point. There's no reason to stand right next to your target there. But we do have the time working against us again a little bit. We're down to 1:20. All we have bunch of partial mission progress, but this could be a nope. Ambassador bails, but we pick up
Yeah.
a fingerprint here, absolutely, and probably get our action test done here as well. I don't think that we have a choice really.
Yeah, you just have to wait for laser to go on the other side, I think.
There it goes. We had Kane there covering our microfilm arm, and it looked like that was completely clean. It didn't look like it was really visible on camera at all, even the head turn.
Yeah, so in both cases of the microfilm test, you can see quite a good usage of realizing what's happening in the party and using that to your advantage. So in the beginning, both Ambassador and Toby were on the other side. Nothing attention worthy was here. Then you had cover, and you waited for Papa Danger to give you proper cover and things like that. And now we do finish our seduce.
Yeah, but we're down to 20 seconds, and we still need 2 missions left. So it looks like we have to do something like a crash bug and a swap. I don't know what the choice is here. And yep, Ambassador is here at statues, giving us that opportunity right now. Looks like we don't have a choice. That's what we're gonna have to go for. There's the bug. We go and pick up the statue immediately. Here has to be a swap. White swap. Yep, here it is.
Yeah.
We're gonna have like a second of overtime. Let's see what happens.
We
Snipers
may,
on the
we may
either side
get
of the
away
map.
with it. We can keep blocking. We're gonna block the view, and oh, it was just 1 second or 1.5 too late.
There did just so
Yeah.
happen to be a fingerprint on that statue, but
Oh, from
Wow.
before?
yeah. So it could have been they could have won without swapping, but it apparently didn't matter.
Wow.
It
That was
pretty good.
yeah, that was a crazy finish. Ambassador really threw us a bone there by going to the statue and letting us do the bug and the statue simultaneously.
Yeah, very well played on Kotte. Overall he was active, but it's once again like you talked about before, Spitmonkey, on these maps you can't idle, because even in this case we saw Kotte being active. We had mission progress, we were doing things pretty much constantly, and you still needed to rush 2 missions at the end.
Yep, that's definitely true. That's pretty rough. But we're moving on to the smaller venue here of Ballroom, which you were excited to see.
Yes, and I think OP is very much excited to see, especially.
OP, no matter what. I mean, I don't know if OP was watching this stream, but if he was, he heard Ballroom and came running, I'm sure. But anyway, we have Hunu here on Spy as General, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I'm actually excited to see Ballroom again. I haven't really played it, or I like in the group stages here. Neither me nor the opponent was picking this set, so I miss Ballroom.
I don't know what just happened with that path, but it was ugly. It looked pretty awful, and here we are just kind of jammed here in between Double Agent and Seduction Target. I don't know if Kotte sees that or is paying attention to it, but it looks really, really bad.
I agree, but I don't think it was that visible from Sniper's perspective. Or even if it was, Sniper was probably paying attention to something else, because it's the very beginning of the game.
Probably,
We'll see
yeah.
if that hurts us later.
Yep, and we're here in the conversation circle with the Double Agent as well. We haven't banana bread it yet. It feels like if we're going to do that, we want to do it soon or risk. Nope, we're just going to leave. Never mind. Missed the pad.
Oh. I think there were 3 people out of conversations, so I see why the banana bread was not chosen there.
Yeah, makes sense, but you know, it's always the type of thing that you hope doesn't come back to bite you later if you need that banana bread to finish.
Fair.
So anyway, once again, Hunu idling quite a bit here. We're down to 2 minutes. We only have 1 flirt done and no other mission progress.
Leave instead of idling some more, and we get, or at least trying to get our second flirt progress.
Yep, seems like it. 68%, so that's pretty good. And the Ambassador's in a pretty buggable position here. It looks like Kotte has a pretty good idea of what's going on. Twin just took a very buggable path. And Ambassador leaves, but that could have been a situation to get a mission on the board right there, especially with General's pretty good bug.
But I think now from those previous 4 games, previous 6 games that we saw, I would say that's more Kotte style, because like by now Hunu seems very much sort of calm, idling quite a bit, and sort of, well, Kotte was more a bit gun ho about opportunity.
Yeah, but Hunu also just white purloined. Kotte saw the tray, highlight him. Hunu looks like he's in really rough shape here.
And we did pick a highlight for it, potentially being paired with our seduction target.
Yeah,
because it seems we are being watched very much.
Yeah. Fortunately, flirt is done, so that's not something we're gonna have to worry about later on. But again, we still need 2 more missions here, and if we go to center statues, for example, it feels like we're just gonna get shot right away for it.
Yeah, if we get double statues, it's fairly certain we get shot. I would even argue we get shot for a real banana.
It's entirely possible, yeah. Let's see what we decide to do here. I mean, that was a bug path. Yep,
With
here,
bug not,
lining up the
yeah.
shot. Yeah, he just takes it.
Bug not taken, but credited, and yeah, that purloin was what killed Kotte. What killed the hunu there.
Yeah, that's not great. So I think Kotte's on a bit of a run now, right? Kotte's now taking the lead at 4-3.
That is
Yes.
correct.
All right. So yeah, Kotte with a bit of a run here after going down 2-0 on high rise, stepping in here to his spy side on ballroom as queen in 3, 2, 1, playing it. So let's see if Kotte goes for some steady mission progress like he's been doing thus far the whole time, or goes for even an early bug or something. Looks like seduction target is the obvious choice to go on and pick up an early flirt here, and yep, that looks like that's just what he's gonna do.
Yeah, we could. We did spawn next to ambassador, but there wasn't enough chaos, beginning chaos, for the bug there. So quite a wise choice not to go for that bug in that case.
Yep, I would agree with that. That could very well have been invisible, and it's an early way to get an early shot, and it can be again demoralizing. And speaking of demoralizing, though, it's been interesting to see Kotte's recovery from what could have been 2 very tiltable things earlier on. He's been very solid since then.
Yeah, very much. It seems that,
Banana
or
bread.
at least if he got tilted in the sense of, right, I need to play better, or even better, I suppose. I still need to play well.
Yep, we picked up a very brief highlight, but that was probably a mistake. Knocked back down to neutral as we step in for a second flirt, up to 68% now. And it doesn't really look like that Hunu has been flirt pairing all that much here, because Kotte has been standing next to his seduction targets, and doesn't seem to be any sort of reaction on Hunu's part for that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like we have any suspicion on Kotte overall. 2
No.
minutes.
Oh, I was just saying, we haven't really done anything all that visible yet, though. We haven't been to statues yet, we haven't
Yeah.
tried a fingerprint yet. We've been playing this one pretty, not slowly, but invisibly thus far.
Yeah, but also not very actively. It's now 1:38 left, and we have only almost 2 missions. We're about to finish the second one, I suppose. There we
Yep, there's the
go.
flirt, 100%. So now how do we finish? The classic move is in in spec swap, but that seems a little ambitious. Looks like we're taking a bug path. Yep, there's a bug. It looked pretty
Oh.
visible. The arm was definitely out on camera, but no shot coming off. And we're in center statues here. We're just trying to finish right now.
Yeah, the snapback was quite visible. Not sure if that was caught. I was about to say that getting a bug would be preferred. I'm a bit surprised that Kotte isn't being shot here.
Yeah, all we are is highlight. I don't think a shot's coming off here. I think if we were going to shoot, we would have been shot already. It looks like
I
Heidi's getting away with
agree.
this cleanly, yeah.
Yeah, I think that missed bug, which quite should have been caught, um, was what sort of costed Kotte the game. But then he should have won one earlier, kinda in a way. So that balances it out.
The karmic win. I suppose there is that.
Sort of, yeah. The Cosmos Karma, you know, SpyParty, the checker gods.
You could say that, yeah. And as the replay there just pointed out, there was an animation break on that statue putback as well.
Right.
But nonetheless, Kotte up now, I think 5-3, right?
Yep.
5-3
That is
Kotte up,
correct.
yes.
Yeah.
2 more, and
Alright.
that could be it.
Yep, so Kotte hoping to end this here on Library. But we have Hunu on Spy side as Irish, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So this is the third game of Irish as a spy that I see tonight, and she is my favorite character, and I've been very much called out on playing her frequent competitive matches, especially. I would personally like that. I did not play as Irish in this Winter Cup.
Not even once?
Not even once. At least not. Now you got me paranoid that there may have been, but I'm like 99% sure I did not.
I don't know if you're planning to play SCL, but I feel like you're blowing up your spot here with this a little bit.
I haven't decided on it yet, but me being Irish is so.
Alright, well, fair enough. I'll look forward to seeing that, and if we play each other, I'm just going to try and take a voodoo shot into Irish one of those games and see what happens.
Okay, noted. Speaking of this game, however, we do have 34% flirt, but not really much else.
Yeah,
And it's
once
been
again,
1 minute on.
yeah. Alright, the ambassador's right here next to us. This feels like a spot where we should pick up a bug. That would have been it right there, but sniper scope pops back and ambassador
Yeah.
leaves. Once again, we're seeing Hunu just sort of idling and not getting a lot of mission progress done. We're down to 3 minutes, and with nothing done, only 2 flirts, and on library, that can really hurt you.
Very much so. I'm not even sure if it's veranda or library that would need more active plays during the time, but those two are definitely on top of that list.
I think it's easier on library on spy to make plays just because on veranda, the sniper can take a spot where they can kind of see the whole venue at once, whereas library, you know that there's at
And the
least part of
underbred.
it the sniper definitely can't see. So it feels safer
Fair.
to make plays in library, at least in my opinion.
I think also in library the sort of potential mission spots are across the map, whereas in veranda, let's say in the middle, you have only a cluster of conversation circles.
Yeah, I think that's true too, and that's a good point. Um,
Limiting.
2 statues plus a fingerprint. That's solid progress, and that's really what Hunu needed right there. So Hunu now has partial missions done on 3 missions, so he can get a bunch done in a hurry. We missed the reverse drive-by there. Timing was just off. I don't think it was on camera. Oh, 98% on our flirt.
That hurts. We've seen a lot of those. A lot of sunshine going away.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of players just not quite getting there on the flirts either. A lot more so than usual, it feels like.
The thing is, once again, what do we do next? Now it's only 1:25. We, I mean, we need a
Purloin?
printable statue, but
No
that's
purloin.
still not.
No, we're instead taking the briefcase fingerprint, but I don't know if there's a fingerprint on this.
I don't. No, doesn't seem so.
I would say not, given that we didn't pick one up there. So yeah, so
Yeah.
Hunu picks up a fingerprint and maybe got credited for a print, even though he didn't get one done there. That's unfortunate. I
The
think the play
center
here is finish
statue.
up flirt. Yeah.
Finish up blur, then potentially go to that center statue for print and second inspect. So that's already 4 missions.
Oh no, we tried to bug there and it was right on
Uh,
camera.
that we're not getting shot for it though.
No, maybe it wasn't seen. Or also, Kotte just knows that it didn't take because the ambassador went the wrong way. Instead, we're
Fair.
going here to the statue that you pointed out, the center statue with the fingerprint on it. So we're gonna get our fingerprints done, we're gonna get our specs done. Maybe we just swap here. What do you think?
I probably would try to go for purloin on
Nope.
that side of the map, but doesn't matter because you get a bullet instead of a drink.
Yeah, it looked like we were trying to swap there at the very end, but the bullet came off before it even mattered. Yeah, Kotte all over that one.
Yeah, well played. Well played by Kotte there. I think Kotte has been dominating so far, I gotta say.
Yeah, except for the first venue of High Rise, it felt like Kotte has been pretty firmly in control for
Yeah.
most of the rest of this, especially on sniper side. It felt like he's had very, very firm control over really the entire venue the whole time, and has had a very good idea of what Hunu's up to or not up to, as the case may be.
Yeah.
But Kotte here on his spy side, let's see what he has to offer here as Twin on 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So if Kotte can win this, he wins the match.
I think that's right. Yeah, it's 6-3
Yeah,
right now.
6-3 at the moment. So
Yeah, so Kotte here playing for the win. Spy side on library, as we know, is definitely not a sure thing. It's definitely one of those sniper favored venues. But Let's see what Kotte has to offer us with his fairly aggressive spy that we've seen so far.
And another
Picks up,
green flirt.
yeah, always a great start. It's hard to go wrong with that. He rejects the drink, doesn't take the immediate checker purloin. Let's see what he does next. It looks like right now we're idling and hoping to just do a timer flirt, finish that mission up, and then move on. But we're just going to leave instead, head over into statues, and start our inspects.
Yeah, if we do a quick one, we may even not there, which would be a good spot. Instead we opt out for a normal 2 inspec. But I think if we had finished with just one and left, it would not have been noticed.
Yeah, or even do like a swap and immediate walk away.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we're taking the safe route, which nothing wrong with that. Here's a green purloin coming off.
And we are behind the pillar.
I don't think it was even on camera.
Yeah, I was about to correct myself.
Purloin's actually coming off now. The suspected double agent takes it. And here comes Hunu's reaction. Low light's coming off. Everyone who wasn't near the tray to begin with, at least. Even if he didn't see it, it's a pretty good reaction.
Yeah. We get a couple more from that banana bread. I very much don't think we're being suspected.
Well, there's a highlight.
We are?
Yeah, maybe we are. Maybe we're more of a suspect here than we thought. But look at this mission progress.
Yeah, if we do inspect swap, you know, that may even be an option, because people wouldn't usually expect inspect swap that relatively early in the game.
No, that would be such a tough shot to make. We're just standing here next to the ambassador. It looks pretty suspicious. We've been standing here for a while.
Yeah.
There we go. We're walking away. What's the play? I think the briefcase. Okay, I don't think we printed this one.
Doesn't seem so.
Nope, just going to return it. Or not. Ambassador walks away. We might have gotten credited for a bug there.
Potentially. Now it's going to the point where I think second inspects is still fine if you do that now.
Yeah, let's see. We're going to finish it now.
Okay.
You think we swap here? Is that the play? I'm not really sure what to do.
Now I don't know.
So no, we got the fingerprints, so I think the play is now wait for another print, maybe even these shelves here, and yeah, just go from there.
Yeah. If we go into that bookshelf quickly, we may get shot, or we may get shot now.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because we picked up the briefcase, so we were credited with a second fingerprint, with the first fingerprint, and that was the second one. So yeah, twin could have been done there if we don't know that that briefcase was clean.
Fair enough.
All right. So, Hunu picks up the win to stay alive. Needs to sweep Modern to stay in this here. Starting with his spy side here on Small Man. In 3. You good, Cletus?
I am good.
All right, Small Man here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Small man on a big map. Let's see if that works out.
Yeah, but this is really one of the ones where Small Man shines, because there isn't really a lot of occlusion or other conversations you're supposed to hide behind, unlike on, say, Gallery, for example.
Fair.
But here we go. We're getting mission progress off the bat this time with an early flirt. And looks like we're getting some matching twin highlights just to try and figure out who's doing what here.
Yeah, you always get confused by those, don't you?
Yep, looks like it. In any case, Hunu here, now that the selection target bails, Hunu should either follow or do something else. But let's see if we're just going to stay in this conversation circle and idle, as has been much more common thus far this set.
Yeah, I think my logic is that if you're changing your gameplay, you probably don't want to do it just for the... You know, you wouldn't think of doing it just for the last game, but you would think of it earlier.
I would agree with that, yeah. But at this point, I mean, especially on these venues where time can get away from you easily, it's been his nemesis this whole time.
Very much so.
Here's a second flirt though, 68%. That's not bad. But again, I feel like we have to do something else, whether it be statues or go pick up a drink and a potential delegate or something here.
Or a book, or yeah. It's just we're barely doing anything.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it, especially when you're playing against someone with a very strong sniper side. Like, it can feel very overwhelming and like you're smothered no matter what you do. But
Yeah. Especially when, like, in this game, you need to win
And
to
in the
keep
red.
going.
yep, absolutely. This is the type of the game where you can't time out.
We
There's a
do get real
flirt,
banana.
yeah. Yep, absolutely. So that mission is checked off at least. There's that.
Yeah.
Look at that rush at bar too right now.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. We may want to go there and delegate just because of that. Many people. Instead, we just go to finish flirts. I would have loved to have picked up a drink for that, just so that we have that option of delegate.
Or the other option would have been to try and do a frame there, maybe. Given the number of people who just picked up drinks, including some highlights, if Hunu was aware of who Kotte is suspicious of, that might have been a good opportunity to try and pick up a frame, like a purloin frame. But it looks like we're just taking the safe route, picking up the seduce, and going to bar ourselves.
I thought a potential bug attempt may have happened there, but I suppose with both RSD and another party goer leaving the conversation, we did not have that much cover or potential cover, so we did not opt out for it.
Yep, here we go. Standing here right next to the ambassador again. And oh, here comes the bug.
Oh, instead we're doing bug now. Oh, you can see the lean back if you're looking at it.
Yeah, you can see the arm snap back there, but it doesn't look like Kotte caught that. So Hunu just needs one more mission to get done here, and then that's it. Oh, here comes the purloin. This could be it. I don't know if it's
This
gonna go
could
off.
be it for him.
It could be. There's a bit of a line here, but I think he has enough time left on that timer that it's going to go off. Let's see how on top of this Kotte is, though. Alright, here's the offer. There's the take.
There's the take.
Kotte seems to be aware of it. 5 seconds. 4,
Oh,
3.
and
Here he
there's
comes. Here
the
comes the shot.
shot.
Kotte all over it, and Kotte takes the set 7-4.
Well done tracking that, I say.
Yeah, that was really impressive. It didn't look like that Hunu was all that, or had all that much suspicion beforehand, but as soon as the delegate goes off, Kotte all over it.
Yep, good job, Kotte. And with that, I think I can bring up the current bracket here. Let's see, here we go.
Yeah, so Kotte now goes to play the winner of Calvin Schoolage and Opie.
That's gonna be a fun one. Either one of those if either one of those wins, Kotte's gonna have a tough time, if I may be honest. But who knows?
Yeah, and I'm even looking forward to that Calvin versus Opie match.
Yeah, that's gonna be happening very soon. Actually, maybe even now.
Possibly right now. I think it was scheduled to be right now, actually.
Yeah.
So, all right, so everybody who's watching right now, close Twitch, get on the SpyParty client, go spectate that match. We'll all see you there.
All right. See y'all. Have a great time. If anybody out there does not own this game, you can go buy it at SpyParty.com or Steam, but buy it on SpyParty.com. All
yes,
right.
And keep notice to our Discord for more news on when the next cast is.
Yep. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. See y'all tomorrow,
Goodbye.
hopefully.
Good night.